Closing remarks. So as I wrap things up in the clinic, and even with the completion of this portfolio, again another reminder of ultimately this is the end of my experience here with PT837. And of course, I couldn't help but think about this quote from my favorite TV show, The Office. So this here is Andy Bernard. He's a salesman, but this was on the very last episode of the show before it came to an end, and they did it for like 9 or 10 years. So he says, I wish there was a way to know when you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. So I don't need to provide a deep contextual significance to this quote. Kind of speaks for itself almost, but coming down here 9 weeks ago, I was a shell of my current self that I am today. Showing up each day for work and being gifted the opportunity to simply help people created a new routine for me that gave me new drive and new meaning in my life. It made things feel less complicated than maybe the way I was making them be. The amazing coworkers of mine created new friendships and professional relationships that I didn't know could exist. As each work week went by, concluded, the inevitable end was dawning. It was creeping up on me. Typically, how I said, I feel like I'm a shell of my former self. Well, typically, I'd fight all this change, all this ending with a lot of emotion, whichever I could muster it up, and even close myself off in certain areas of life. And I hate change. I always will. I always try to make sense of it, and what I'm learning is that I can't. At this point, I feel like I have just enough life experience to learn from my previous self, as we do with a lot of these reflection activities, even in school. And so I would watch this video clip of him saying this quote, every time those old feelings would creep back up, because I watch that video routinely if I need just a reminder. But each time I really made an effort to, okay, if you have those feelings, watch this quote and see what you take out of it. And this time, instead of throwing myself the usual pity party, I found myself, being a good instant reminder to just be present in the moment. This quote is exactly how you're supposed to feel when you reflect on the good old days. You should have feelings of wanting to go back and, could I have done more? Could I have been there more? And this quote, again, sorry, it's difficult for me to even really open up, as far as this, but I was just very caught off guard by the excitement and the happiness that this opportunity brought me. It's almost like in the moment I felt like I knew I was in the good old days. And, watching this video and practicing just, how do you handle yourself in these moments of heavy emotion. I think that it was very beneficial for me to have that constant reminder to stay present, because I knew I'd miss this place. I knew that all the people that were, part of something special in my life, I think they ultimately, allowed me to handle this goodbye with the newfound maturity I found within myself of handling emotions that, sometimes they consume your thoughts and they take you away from being present in the moment. And, I didn't realize that until I reflected on it. How many times I'd think about, am I in the moment, versus just don't thinking about it, just be in the moment without having to say it. I thought this video just did that exact thing for me. For the first time in my life, I actually feel like I beat the quote. I found a way to remind myself to just enjoy the good old days before I actually had to leave them. And I can confidently say that I did do just that.